I am watching many of my family members struggling deeply during this time. What can I do to uplift their energy when they are not on this path and they don't know these teachings?
That's a very good question. And, we speak to this very point so often throughout the year with the teachings that we're reading every Sunday. There's many readings. There is particularly the reading that says, when Jesus says, "Don't pass pearls before swine." And I've said in my own sermons on that, when I was younger, I hated that. How could Jesus be calling people swine? It felt, of course I had no understanding of it, such a deep, deep teaching. And Jesus also said, I come not to bring, did he say peace, but a sword. And that's another one that it's, what would we do if we didn't have these great masters explaining these teachings to us? I feel so much gratitude every time something like this comes up for Swamiji, who just translated this all into a language that we could understand. And I think this is when we need to call on those teachings, because ultimately we cannot share the teachings as we know them with anyone who's not interested in, willing, ready. And in fact, what Jesus is saying in that "don't pass pearls before swine" is we can even make it worse for them if we try. Because if you've ever tried to convince somebody about something political or religious that they don't already believe in, you know it just brings up enormous resistance. And then next time, when they're presented with that uplifted teaching, they just have that much more resistance in them. So we don't want to do that. We always need to wait for the teachings till people come and ask us, always, under every single circumstance, even when people are on the path. Either they've invited us to be honest with them as a generic statement, or they come with a specific question. Otherwise, the better part of wisdom and compassion says, don't go there. And when we do, it's more about us than it is about them, and it doesn't work. However, living the teachings in front of them, just keeping ourselves calm, peaceful, uplifted, joyful, with humor, with a lot of love, and sharing that love, listening, all of these things that are, and listening without judgment to where other people are, because so many people are suffering and they don't know how to not suffer. And no matter how gently I've tried to offer some suggestions to my loved ones in the last few weeks, what I find, because I am erring on the side of gentleness, is it's just not heard. It's not possible for them. It's just not. Everybody's doing their best, but they can't hear it. So we have to be it. And eventually, at least some of them seem to come around and say, boy, you seem to be going through this with much greater ease than I'm feeling. How is that? Or whatever it is you're doing in your life that has you. My little granddaughter, when she was 7, she wrote me a note And she said, since we can't see you right now, I'm going to just sit here and remember how calm you always are. It was so precious. And then she wrote me a note and said, let's talk about calmness when you're here next time. You know, of course she's 7, she hasn't yet developed all of the other defenses, but it's precious. Souls begin to notice. And when they notice, do your very best, like you would with a child, to ask yourself, what are they ready to hear? Offer them what they're ready to hear, even if it's a drop of what you know. Because, you know, that's what the ocean is made up of, all of those drops. And it just helps, whatever little bit we can offer. But we have a lot to offer right now by living these teachings and by not allowing ourselves to be drawn into arguments, to be drawn into feeling that we know better and we have something to teach them. That's just our own delusion. I just got caught in it a couple of weeks ago myself. I've told the story over and over. I won't. But when it comes with that much feeling and emotion, better to wait and just, as I said, do the best to live your path.